Hey Scavers, this is Imp from Black Talon Gaming, and I want to welcome you to yet another episode of Best Settlement Defense. Today we're going to be focusing on something a little bit different. I'm here at Sunshine Tidings Co-op with my two dogs and my awesome Deathclaw pet, Trouble, right over there. He's just hanging out, chilling like a villain. Anyhow, so today's episode we're going to focus on something for those of you who don't actually like settlement building. I know you're thinking, Chris, this is like really fucking crazy. Like, dude, if they don't like settlement building, why are you going to make them build a settlement? I'm not making anybody build a settlement, but I am going to say that survival mode kind of does make you have to build a settlement. Like, especially at the very least, the minimum type of stuff that you need to get going, you kind of do need a few things per each little settlement stop. You know what I'm saying? Just long story short, like if we go to our map, we can take a look and we turn on settlement mode. Yeah, I've got a lot of modded settlements in there. Just disregard those. Just pretend it's vanilla settlements or whatnot. You know, pretty much you've kind of got a safe zone, and you're gonna, even as a survival player, even if you don't like settlement building, you're gonna be building crap at either Sanctuary or Red Rocket. That's a given. You're gonna build a water pump at the very least and a place to sleep. You know what I'm saying? And you're probably gonna build a few turrets too, so in case, especially in survival mode, you can run back there and pull things to those turrets and have the turrets protect you. You know what I'm saying? So there's quite a few uses for settlements, even if you have no interest whatsoever in recruiting settlers. And I would say that most people will want at least a couple of settlers, at the very least, so that they can, get the trade routes between their settlements. That being said, if you've got the Automatron DLC, you don't actually need anybody. You don't need survivors to make food or anything. All you need is a couple of robots to link your places, and you can really just have 5 places and a couple of robots, 5 robots, exactly 5, and you'll be able to link everything up. And, and that would be a good survival build for somebody who does need the settlement mechanics for a place to rest and regroup and resupply, without necessarily, if you just absolutely hate the settlement building system, that you don't have to mess around with settlers and happiness and feeding them and defense and all that crap. So what I'm going to focus on here today is a very, very quick build, a modification of my standard defensive tower that I think will work really well in, helping you not just protect your little area, each one of your little outposts that you get, but it also gives you a tiny little a bed or whatnot. And this is going to be a modification of the tower that you've seen in other videos if you've watched them. Though if you don't like settlement building, I don't know why you would have watched them, but that's alright. Anyways, this is going to be a modification of that standard concrete tower that I usually build. It's going to be a 2-level tower. Anyhow, I think with that said, let's go ahead and get started building. Right, first thing we're going to talk about when we're building this little outpost is placement. And I'm going to go ahead and say that you're probably going to end up placing more than one outpost or more than one tower at any given settlement that you take over and decide to use as an outpost. And it does give you some benefit that it will help you with your defense strategy and everything if you decide to go the settlement route, if you need caps or if you need water, if you need food, whatever. If you decide to go that route, you've already got a defensive infrastructure in mind. All right, but let's just suppose that you're not going to go through with any of that. You're thinking to yourself, okay, like really how important is, placement in that case? Like I could just build anywhere. It's not like I have to worry about room for crops or anything like that. And certainly that is true. But the main thing that I want to stress in terms of placement is that you want to have you want to place it somewhere to where you'll have easy access to it, kind of, if you're having to retreat. So let's say right over that hill is Nuka World, and there's a couple of gunners there, and then like a raider I think spawns in this building or whatever. If for whatever reason I'm retreating from this direction, I want a tower that's going to be here. There's a little bit of an elevation problem. That's one of the reasons we're going to use a 2-story tower. But I want a little bit of a tower, especially maybe right in there, and that way the tower will have access, or will have a line of sight to shoot on any of the enemies that are following me. Now, I've never really seen it too badly. I think, yeah, like the only time I've ever seen it like really bad is running from Deathclaws or running from Assaultrons. Like I've seen those follow you pretty bad. I mean, occasionally you'll get a spawn, especially a random spawn, like something like Rust Levels or whatever, and it'll be really, really close to a settlement. And in that case, you definitely do want to go ahead and try to pull them towards your defenses because you know it makes such a world of difference. At least they're taking off the stress from you. So anyhow, we're gonna be building our two-story tower. We're gonna build it right about in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and set the groundwork. And the first thing I want to say is that in order to really make this work, to make the teamwork makes the dream work. But anyways, to make this work, you're gonna want to pick up concrete, and then that's pretty much it. Is you're gonna need a little bit of concrete, and pretty much, especially in the vanilla settlements, anywhere you go, you're gonna have access to wood because you can chop down the trees, and you're gonna have access to metal because there's gonna be these barrels nearby that you can kill the barrels. You know what I'm saying? You can scrap the barrels. So pretty much concrete is the only thing you really need to bring. If there was a second option, I would say pick up some pillows or pick up some like old flags or whatever, because you will need a little bit of cloth for the beds and everything like that. And also gears. Let's see, gears, screws, oil, circuits. I think those are the 4 main components, and steel. Those are the main components for turrets. You're going to need all of those in order to build the turrets. But let's go ahead. I'm going to lay the foundation right now. Alright, in regards to making this pretty, you can clean the corners up or you can leave them as is. They do provide protection. As long as the enemy literally can't see you inside here, then they won't be able to shoot you. I'm not going to worry about it really at all because I don't, you know, especially if you're looking at this from the point of view that, like, I don't really want to be doing this, then, you know, why am I going to take the time to, you know, clean it up or tidy it up for you? I think a little bit later... Actually, I'm going to go ahead and... Because you know what? This is my build, but I'm just putting it out there that on your builds, you can save a lot of money in terms of concrete or whatever by not worrying about these corners. I just like, you know... It's one of those OCD things from, I guess, maybe the military or whatever. Like, I like to see things, you know, kind of dress or squared away a little bit. It's kind of gay. I can't believe I just said that. Like, it's amazing. If you're in the military, or if you were, you kind of know what I'm talking about. Like, I can't believe I just said that. That was unreal. Alright, let's go ahead and drop the top here. If we can. Okay, so the bottom floor is going to be for a little bit of easy peasy storage. And the top floor is going to be a gun emplacement and then turrets on the very top of the tower. And what I mean by a gun emplacement is a place that you can go and fire on the enemy, hopefully from a protected position. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and protect that position. I'm gonna drop one of these. I don't know if it's gonna fit. Yeah, it is. Which is wonderful. Wonderful. And we're gonna drop one of these. Right there. We are. Little pro tip. I need to move this whole structure because this is blocking the way. You're gonna select any one part of it. You're gonna press and hold E, and then you can move the entirety of the structure. Now I'm gonna move it right there. And that is wonderful. In fact, I don't even need this anymore. And good. It's automatically projecting itself. And we've got walk up. Now, once again, you could consider it to be unnecessary, but I like to put these little bars up here because I don't want to be, for example, in the middle of combat and running up here and then just run accidentally off there, you know what I'm saying? Alright, so on the very top, we're going to stick these bars right here. And this is all about giving you cover while you're returning fire from an elevated position, nonetheless. So, you know, you're doing pretty good. There we go. Alright. And once again, because I like things pretty, I am going to go ahead and drop some concrete. I mean, you're going to have excess concrete laying around anyhow, and dropping it gives you a tiny bit of experience. Especially when you're level 74 like I am. So, you know, I mean, it's up to you, but I'd kind of just do it because, you know, like, what the hell? What do you have to lose? Alright, I would not place doors on there. I primarily use doors as aesthetic objects and as items to latch onto to lock if you had the locksmith thing. But if you're the only person, if you're legitimately the only person going to be living here, it doesn't matter too much, you know what I'm saying? Like that, you know, ain't nobody coming in to steal your stuff and rape your wife or whatever, you know? In terms of furniture on the inside, once again, we're going to keep it simple. Keep it simple, stupid, and we're going to drop a bed. I always choose these beds because they're white. The other ones look grungy and dirty as fuck. And then if you want, you can go ahead and add a little bit of container ooze. It's a great place, especially in survival, to store your ammo, store extra food items, store healing items, etc., etc. And if you are playing survival, even though you are not building up I will go ahead and say this, even though you are not building up any crops or any water or any production whatsoever, you're going to want to build a secondary, like something like this box or something, a med kit on the wall to store food, medical items, or anything, because anything that would go in your aid inventory, anything that would go in the aid tab, if it's put in your workshop, will calculate into the chance for you to get raided. So putting aid items in your workshop, even if you have no production, may cause you to get raided. So you want to try to stay away from that, etc., etc. Plus that, you know, it's easier to, you know, maybe run in here and grab something out of one of these than it is to have to run to find a crafting bench or what have you. And crafting benches aren't necessarily the cheapest things on the earth to build, comparatively speaking. Let's go ahead and drop some turrets if I can, which I can, so I will. We're going to have our turrets facing, you know what, we're going to do a staggered formation. We're going to put the big one facing that direction, and we're going to put two little ones facing out. The idea being that if the little ones will come under fire, the big one will turn around and eventually, you know, it'll do its thing. So there you have it. a very, very, very simple build, very, very simple survival build. Most everything that is needed for this build can probably be found in one of the vanilla settlements, or in any well-crafted settlement location that you decide to load in. Though if you don't like settlements, I don't know why you would decide to mod in new settlement locations. I'm just putting that out there, you know what I'm saying? I think, yeah, literally concrete is the only thing you probably need to bring with you. Maybe pick up a couple of desk fans and anything with oil. That might be the only thing. Is like usually gears and oil will be your main choke points for building new turrets. But anyways, so that is my survivalist outpost, my survival tower, and it is a great build for anybody who does not like settlement building, but would find it useful anyways. And just to cap it all off, to kind of reiterate just how useful it is, we're gonna drop a water thingy right here, my bob. Yeah, right here. Because you know what? If I'm living there, I've got to have a way to refill my water. Yep, and look at this. Great elevation, great vantage point for attacking the enemy, because not only do you have partial cover, but you're elevated above the enemy, so the effect of your partial cover is even more exaggerated. Anyhow, I want to thank you guys, and let me go ahead and exit this, exit this, exit this. There we go. I want to thank you guys for watching. I really enjoyed this very, very, very quick build, but I think it's useful, and I think it's a great way to get into settlement building, or at least utilize the mechanics for your survival playthrough if you absolutely hate settlements, you know, at all. It's a very simple build, very cheap. I think in total, like, maybe I'll go back and put it in comments or in the description, a relative cap cost of how much this would cost to build. Anyhow, thanks for watching. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, go ahead and leave them in the comment section. Please like, subscribe for more videos next week, every other week, until I die from making this stuff. Just like and subscribe. And I'll see y'all later. I want y'all to have an awesome day. Peace.